Hey there, one Paler here, and welcome back. Today, I have some World of Warships footage for you guys. So before it gets going, I'm showing you the loading screen here for a reason. Take a look at this, and we'll see it a little bit more. I have the tab screen up here once we go in. You're going to notice something a little fishy about the matchmaking on this. So this is just a random battle, and you probably saw right there, my team has 2 fewer ships than the enemy team. However, my entire team is tier 5s with 2 tier 4s, whereas their team has 3 tier 3s and a tier 2. So I guess they assume that basically like maybe 2 tier 4s are the equivalent of 3 tier 3s and a tier 2, so they just remove those from ours, or I have no idea how they did it. Very strange matchmaking. And this match ended up being hilarious. I won't spoil how it ends, but it ended up being very, very funny. And it's also, I'm in the premium Tier 5 Russian cruiser, the Murmansk. So this gives me an opportunity to talk about the Murmansk and just put out impressions on the Tier 5 Premium and what I think about it. So we're going to get into this in the first few minutes while this is going on. Let's discuss the ship a little bit till we get into the real firefight. Essentially, the Murmansk is an Omaha. It really is. It's a slightly upgraded Omaha that you got to buy. So the Omaha and the Murmansk are both tier 5s. They're both cruisers. Where the Murmansk stands out over the Omaha is a few areas. They have the exact same HP. They have the same caliber guns and the same range on their guns by default. I should say I'm talking about the upgraded Omaha here. The default Omaha is crappy. The upgraded Omaha is what the Murmansk is. The Murmansk does have better gun rotation rate, quite a bit better. The Murmansk can rotate in about 16 seconds for 180-degree rotation, whereas the Omaha is like 24 seconds. This makes the Murmansk notably better at keeping its guns on target in a high-pressure movement situation. They both have torpedoes. The Murmansk's torpedoes are, in my opinion, better. The Omahas travel a little bit faster, I believe, but the Murmansk has noticeably longer range torpedoes, whereas the Omahas are 5.5 kilometer max range, the Murmansks are 8 kilometers. And you'll surprise some ships with those. They won't expect you to be able to launch them. They also come from the back third of the ship. There's a rack on each side of the back, so you can launch them fairly straight forward of your ship. You only have to go about 10-15 degrees off your nose and you can launch them, so you can get a fairly forward going torpedo count. They're essentially the same. The Murmansk has slightly better rating. Speed, they're the exact same, top speed of 34 knots, and the Murmansk has slightly better concealment, whereas the Omaha is 13.5 kilometers, the Murmansk is 13.1. One other area where the Murmansk stands out over the Omaha is the catapult, the spotter plane. So you can see that right now here. I have the spotter plane up, and this is really giving me a lot of range. I can get out to 17.8, almost 18 kilometer range, whereas the Omaha instead has the anti-aircraft catapult fighter. So the Omaha can't get this range, it can't equip this fighter. And this really does make the Murmansk just straight up and about. Between the gun rotation, the torpedoes, the catapult fighter, the concealment, it's just a better ship. Not crazy better, you know, it's not like if you take one out, you're just going to smack the other one around without any trouble, but it is a notable upgrade over that ship for being premium. And I honestly got to say, I think as a premium ships go, out of the ones I've tried, out of the ones I've seen, this is probably one of the better safe bets for somebody that wants to get a currency grinder, isn't into destroyers. I'm a big destroyer fan. If you're not into destroyers, you want something a little more just consistent, the Murmansk is a very good offer to look into. It tends to go for about $16. I have seen it on sale right from Wargaming down around $11.50, and there's other ways to pick it up even cheaper. So I actually got mine. I bought off eBay. The Murmansk is one of the ones that's commonly put on like the cards that they hand out at conventions, packs or whatever. And I got mine with 3 days of premium, or maybe it was 5 days of premium, a bunch of doubloons, and the ship for $8. So you can pick this one up pretty easy without going through Wargaming. And I think for a consistent, easy to play ship, the Murmansk is a great way to get into the game for premium, if you just want that consistency. How do you play it? How's this match going? Well, All right, beyond the very strangeness, I thought we were going to steamroll these guys. And you'll notice here, starting off, we're down a cruiser, or we're down a destroyer, they're down a cruiser. We seem to have this in control. And I'm going to be playing the Murmansk to my best abilities. I'm about average. But basically, the way you want to play the Murmansk is you want to stay close to your max range. You want to keep targets at that 12 to 13 kilometer range. And you want to use the gun rotation in order to be able to keep your guns firing on targets, but make yourself very hard to hit. So I will steam one way for about 5 or 6 seconds. I will then cut a different way, or else do donuts. I'll do donuts in the water and continue shooting. And the guns will rotate fast enough that you can mostly keep your guns firing on targets. You also can fire about every 6 seconds. So while I'm gonna miss a lot at this range, even if I'm only hitting 5% of the time, it adds up over time. And I am firing high explosives at this round. The armor piercing against another cruiser, like if I was in closer to this Omaha, if I was into 8 or 7 kilometers and he was showing me his broadside like that, I would have flipped over to armor piercing. You really can penetrate quite well. These have I want to say 155 millimeter guns. Yeah, 152 millimeter guns. And they will punch through a cruiser armor on a broadside like that from about 8 or 9 kilometers out. I wouldn't try it at this 12, 13 kilometer range. These shots just arc too high. You're going to have a tough time piercing. So now's when things in this battle start to get real crazy. Watch the map, watch our team, and watch us just disappear. This gets weird. So right now, I am fighting this other Murmansk, and he's the biggest challenge against me on the other team. This battleship off to my right, what was that, a South Carolina? No, Ishizuki. So that's a premium battleship. I'm not really too worried about him. He's going to have a tough time hitting me at that range as long as I keep moving. The Murmansk, though, you know, we're going to be we're doing the exact same thing to each other. We're firing high explosive, we're maneuvering, and we're just trying to pelt the other one down. All right, he's not maneuvering as much. What I don't see happen is I'm not watching my radar, and if you're seeing it, you see on A what I don't see. And I even look right here. I don't know. You might have heard in the audio there a little ee! That was me. My microphone was 4 feet away from me. I turn my camera around and I see these 2 destroyers well within torpedo range. This guy's 1.5 kilometers away, that guy's 3.8 kilometers away. And it's just, oh god. And things get a little crazy here. Somehow, the Nicholas missed me. I don't know what. You know, I was maneuvering to avoid fire. The Nicholas missed me, so I go ahead and I take him out of the guns. Now, the Nicholas is actually a gunboat. He does have torpedoes, short range, but he's actually a gunboat. So he does light me on fire. He does a good bit of damage. Now, this other ship, this is the Tier 2, I believe. So he's real low, or Tier 3. Or is he Tier 2? I don't know. He's a low-tier ship. He's firing torpedoes. By pure blind luck here, if you notice, my rudder's out. So my ship's just doing donuts on its own. And it causes these torpedoes all to miss. And while he's doing that, I'm trying to shoot at him, trying to avoid everything. Here's some more torpedoes coming in. Oh, this gets real ugly real fast. Here we go. Come on, am I going to make these torpedoes? Oh, there we go. Repair crews up. I get those off. I get turned back straight. And here comes my torpedoes, which I said ships will forgetting. This guy, like I said, he's in a Tier 2 or 3. I think this is a Tier 3. He doesn't know to expect this, probably. He's probably relatively new. Yep, there goes my torpedoes. And we're going to somehow get out of all of this alive. But look at what happened to the teams. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know how a bunch of Tier 3s sank these 5s. But, wow, did they. We're down so hard here, and at this point it's just a matter of trying to do what I can. My health's low enough that St. Louis really got it within range, and even in a Tier 5, if a St. Louis gets within range of you, they can really do some damage. So my main objective now is to get far enough away from that St. Louis that he can't hit me. And the range on a St. Louis is right around 10.5 kilometers, so I should be just out of his range. But while I'm doing this, the Murmansk is still shelling. And it just gets worse from here on out. The gameplay pretty much ends with this. But that little moment, turning the camera and seeing those 2 destroyers within close range, the only reason I even looked was I heard our friendly destroyer get destroyed, and it just, the audio cue was like, hey, I wonder what that was. I spin the camera, So, not my best match, but it was fun. Gave me an excuse to talk about the Murmansk, which I do believe is a very good premium ship, if I didn't let on there. I'm going to sink here in a moment. I realize that there's really no chance for me when you look at the team balance. Plus, there's ships ahead of me. If I run forward, there's really nowhere for me to flee to try and just wait this one out and survive. So I decide to go for this Murmansk and see if I can take him with me. In the end, it doesn't work. He gets away with, I'm guessing, less than 300 health. We'll see here in a moment, but I'm about to go down. I think the Murmansk is a great ship. I do still like World of Warships, in case anybody cared to find out. But it just, during the holiday season, I didn't have time to play it as I was playing Fallout 4 and all that other stuff. And this here should about do it. One of these shells. Here comes the Isakaze shooting at me. I wonder which one actually got the kill. I'm not sure. That might have been the battleship that got the kill. Oh well, doesn't really matter. Until next time though, this has been Paler. Thanks for watching.